Hi guys, today I'm gonna model that car seat in Cinema 4D. So let's start. First I will go to my right view and change it to left, and I will press Shift and V and go to back and select my image plane, and I will also increase my transparency. Then I will add a plane and I will set my segments to 2. Then I will go to top view and delete the points, but before that let's make it editable. Press C and I will delete these points. Then go to left view and move the plane. Something like that. Then I will select these edges, press Ctrl and move. And I will also move them like that. Now I will select these corner edges, right click and select bevel. And I will change my subdivision to 1 and increase my offset. Something like that. And I will add a loop cut here. Then I will switch to point mode and select slide and move these points. And I will also move that point. Then I will delete these points. Now I will move that edge, something like that. Then I will select that edge, press Ctrl and move. And I will add another loop cut here and move them. Then I will select these edges, then right click, select extrude, something like that. Then I will switch to points mode and move my points to match my image. Okay, now I will select these ones and I will move on the x-axis. Something like that is enough. And I will also move them, so I will make a transition. And I will also move these points. Okay, now let's look at the back. First, I will select these two edges, then select slide and move them a little. Then I will select that edge, press Ctrl and extrude 2 times. Now I need to fill that gap, so I will right click, select bridge and close here. Okay, now let's try to make that circular shape. To do that, I will select that edge, press Ctrl, but before that, let's change the axis to world. Press Ctrl and extrude. Let's make that edge straight. And continue the extrude. And for here, let's select bridge, switch edge mode and close that gap. I will select that point. Then I will delete that polygon. And actually we can slide it more. And I will select right click, close polygon hole to close that gap. Now let's add symmetry object, press Alt and select symmetry. And I will enable these options because I'm gonna make some extrusions. So I will select them all, right click, extrude and turn on the caps. Now let's switch to left view. And it looks like I need to move these edges up, something like that. Now it's time to add my supporting edges. First, let's double click on that edge loop. Here and here. Also, let's select the inside. And select slide, press Ctrl and move. Then I will select line cut and finish that cut. And also I will enable single line. Then I will switch to slide tool and move these points because that part is not that sharp in the reference image. Okay, now let's select symmetry object and press Alt, select subdivision surface to see the result. And it looks like I need to add another edge loop cut here. So select them, press Ctrl and move the slides. Okay, we need to do that for the inside too. Select them all, press Ctrl and move. I will increase my subdivision editor to 3 to see a better result. Now let's switch to flat view. And I will switch to points mode. Then I will move my points. But before that, let's add another loop cut right here. Then I will move my points. Okay, now I think I need to add another edge loop to that edge because it looks sharper in the reference. To do that, I will select these edges and press Ctrl and slide. I need to fix here, so I will press N and G. And move that point. And also I will finish that cut. Okay, let's press Q to see the result. I will slide these points. And also I will finish that cut. Okay, I think it looks perfect. Now we can move the next part. I will select these polygons, then right click and split. And I will also make these two objects into one group. So I'll press Alt and G, so the symmetry would work for both of them. Now I will select these two edges, then press Ctrl and I will move them. Then I will move my points to match the shape. I will one more time extrude, move the points, extrude, or you can simply rotate them. Okay, extrude one more time. I can scale them on the x-axis. And extrude one more time. This time I will scale them to 0. Then I will scale them on the z-axis. Maybe we can add some rotation. And an extrude to the x. And then I will set my x position to 0. Okay, now let's select that corner edges. Then select bevel. And enable limit. Then bevel. Something like that. But this created these duplicated points, so select them, right click and weld. I will select these points because that makes that edge too sharp. Okay, I will add another loop cut here to hold here. Then I will move some of my points to match my shape. And also I need to move these points. I will also move these points. Okay, now let's try to close that gap. Okay, now I will select these edges at the back, but before that, let's double click on this edge loop and dissolve it. Now I will select them and I will extrude them. Now I will select these 3 points and move them like that. And also let's move these points. And I will move these 3 points on the x-axis. Also these ones. Okay, now we can make the extrude. Select them all and extrude. I will move these points because they are too close. Okay, now I will add my edge loops. Right click, select edge loop, and I will add these edges to the corners. And also that one. And I will slide these edges. Okay, let's check the shape. I will press N and A. It's pretty close. Now let's move some of the points. Let's turn on the other object. And it looks like I need to add another loop. But right here. And also right here because that edge is sharper. And I will add another loop cut here. Let's turn on the other object. I will slide these edges. Okay, now we got the perfect shapes. Now let's try to make the inside. First I will select my first object. And I will select the inside polygons. Then I will right click and split. Then I will switch edge mode. Double click on these edges and I will dissolve them. Then I will select these edges, press Ctrl, and I will move them. And also we can move that edge, something like that. Also let's move that edge to 0.2. Then I will select these edges, go to left view, press Ctrl and move them. Also move the points to match the shape. Okay, now I will press Ctrl and extrude one more time, but this time I will move them on the y-axis. And I will also scale them on the y-axis. Then press Ctrl, extrude. Then I will set my both position and size to 0. Now I will move these polygons and edges to make a flat surface. And I will select these edges and scale them. Now I will turn off my symmetry and enable my solo single. And where did this come from? Oh, anyway, let's delete that. I will switch to edge mode, right click, select bridge. Then I will select close polygon hole. Then let's select line cut and connect that point. Now I will select these polygons, right click, extrude inner. But before doing that, I will enable symmetry so the middle edges won't be affected. Like that. Let's move these points, they are too close. And I will also move them. And I will change that line cut. I will make a cut here. Then weld that edge and dissolve that edge. Can move that. Actually, let's select these polygons, press Ctrl and then click the points mode. This is gonna convert them to points. Then I will select my brush, change mode to smooth, and smooth these points. Now I will do the same thing for the back of the object. Let's solo it, turn off the symmetry. Okay, now I will select the middle polygons. And I will enable my symmetry, right click and extrude inner. Then I will select extrude, but turn off caps and make a small extrude. If I enable my subdivision surface, I will get that effect. But I forgot that loop cut here. Now we got that leader cloth effect. But this part looks too tight, so I will relax here a little. Okay, now let's select that object, turn off solo and select the inside, accept these parts, and I will go to selection, loop selection, and deselect that loop, also that one. Then I will right click and split. And I will also deselect these edge loops, right click and dissolve. Now let's select these edges, go to left view, press Ctrl and extrude them. Then I will move the points to match my shape. Okay, now let's select extrude and make something like that. But I need to move the top point. I can slide that point. Okay, now I will deselect these edges, press Ctrl and extrude and move them like that. Then press Ctrl and move them. Also set their X position and size to 0. Now I will go to my front view and move that point so I can match them to that bottom cut. And also let's select them and scale them to 0. And I will slide that edge and move that edge to bottom. Now I need to close the back. First of all, let's solo the object and turn off the symmetry. And select these edges, press Ctrl and move. Then set the position to 0, also the size. Then I will select these points and weld them. Let's turn off solo. So I need to extrude 2 times. Okay, now I need to close here. So for that I will use breach. And finally I will use close polygon hole. Then I will move the points. Okay, let's turn off the solo. Looks like I need to move these points. Maybe I can move it down a little. I think that should be enough. I enable my subdivision surface. You can see it better. It looks like I need to move it way down. Okay, the back looks good. Now try to finish the front part. First, select these edges and extrude. Then I will press Shift so I can change the angle of the extrude. And I will set that point's position to 0. And I will weld these points. Now I will select these 3 edges and extrude them on the x-axis. Then set their position and size to 0. Now I can weld these points. I think I need to move them a little. So something happened here. Let's weld these points. Actually, let's slide that edge way down so we will get smoother surface. Now I will do the same thing that I did in that part. I will select these polygons. And I will extrude inner, then select extrude, turn off the caps and make a small extrude. So I need to move this a little back. And I will move that edge, something like that, so I will get a more angular, circular shape. And also I need to move them from the left view. Now I will select these inside polygons one more time and extrude inner. I made a small mistake, so let me fix that. I will undo that extrude inner. Select them and dissolve that because that part should be more flat because seats are normally like that. And actually let's switch to scale and I will change orientation to normal, then scale them to 0 and I will move them. I think this is more accurate. And I will also select all my objects, switch to points mode, select the points in the middle, and I will invert the selection and I will move them. And I will deselect points and move these points. I will select all of my objects, press Ctrl A, so I will select all the points, right click and optimize. It's gonna delete these unused points and I will select these points, but make sure that you don't select any other, so you can press NNG to see the inside. Then I will solo my object and turn off the symmetry and double click on these edges. Then I will right click, select slide, and I will press Ctrl and slide these edges. Okay, now I will select these inner polygons, right click and split. Now I will turn on my symmetry and turn off solo, and let's select extrude and turn on the caps. I will turn off the symmetry, and the symmetry didn't delete the middle polygons, so I will delete them manually, but before that let's set their position to 0, also the sizes, and I will delete them. Now I will move the edges, but before let's change orientation of the world. It's gonna be easier. Now I am trying to mimic the seat shape or a regular chair shape. Something like that. Now I will select these edges, select slide and select them. And I will also select that. Let's press Q or enable subdivision surface. And obviously we need a sporting edge. So let's add it here. Like that. Before doing that, I will select these edges and move them. Now I will let the loop cut. I will also enable my screen space ambient occlusion. I will also add another loop cut here. And I will move them down. Now I will double click on that edge loop and select bevel with subdivision 1. And I will select the middle edge and move it. I will double click on the edges in the center and set their position and size is 0. No, symmetry should work. Now I will do the same thing for that edge loop. Double click on it, bevel, new transform, and move the point in the middle. Now let's try to make the bottom part. I will select that object, select the inner polygons, and I will split them. Then I will select extrude with the caps on and make an extrusion, something like that. I don't know why, but my symmetry doesn't work. It won't delete the polygons in the middle, but I enabled these options, so I need to do that manually. So press N and G and select these polygons and delete them. So first thing, let's select these edges and select them. I will also move that edge, and I will select these edges. Okay, let's enable subdivision surface. So first I need to add a loop cut at the very bottom, and then I will double click on the edge loop, right click, select bevel, say new transform, and move that edge. Now I will do the same thing for the edge loop. Double click on it, select bevel, new transform, and move the edge. And I will slide that edge. And I will move that polygon like that. And I will also move these points closer to the body. And it looks like I need another edge loop right here. Now I will try to make the top part. So let's select these polygons. Then I will split them, and also I will double click on these edges and dissolve them. Now I will select them all, right click and extrude and turn the caps on, something like that. I also deleted the polygons in the middle. Now I will solo my object, turn off the symmetry, and I will move these edges like that. I will also move these edges, but I will change my offset mode to proportional. And also I will let the loop cut. Here, let's turn off the solo, turn on the symmetry and subdivision surface. First, I will move these points closer to the body. And I will add another loop cut here. And I will move these points. Now I will right click, select loop cut and add these loop cuts. Then I will select these middle polygons. Actually, let's solo it. And select all of these polygons. Then I will right click and extrude, but turn off the caps. And I will delete the middle polygons. Also, I will set their position and size 0. Okay, let's press Q. I will slide these edges. Yeah. I will add another loop cut here, and I will move them on the z-axis. Maybe that's too much. Like that. Now let's try to make the head. I will select that polygon, right click, split. Then I will add a loop cut around here and delete that polygon. Now I will select my object, right click and extrude. I'll turn on the caps. Then I will move it something like that. One more time and one more time. I will move my points something like that. Now I will add the loop cuts here and here. But if I enable my subdivision surface, you'll see that this corner is too sharp. It should be softer. So to do that, I will select slide and merge these points. Now I will add another loop cut to the very bottom and move the points. Let's select the inner polygons, right click, split. Now I will move these points, something like that. And I will select the top point and move it. Also, I will slide that edge somewhere near. Now I will select them all, right click and extrude and turn on the caps. Now I will move these points like that and this one like that, and I will move these points too. And actually I won't need these edges, so I can dissolve them. And I will add a loop cut here. Then I will select these polygons, right click and extrude inner. Then I will extrude. But this time I will add another loop cut very close to that edge. Then I will make a loop selection. Then I will extrude. Now let's move to the last part. But first thing, I will move some of the points, like these ones, and move that polygon and that edge. And I can also move that to ends. This is gonna give us more depth. Okay, now I will select these polygons and I will split them. And also I will extrude that edge. Then I will select them all and extrude, turn the caps on. And also I will move these points to each other, so this part will get sharper. And I will also add a loop cut here to the very bottom. Now I will select these polygons, right click, extrude inner, then extrude. I will make the extrude inner one more time, but this time I will increase my angle. Now it should work. And extrude. I will add that small edge loop here, then select these polygons and extrude. This is gonna give us more depth. I will move these points. I think they shouldn't be that close. I will take it back. Let's try to move these points to see how that looks. Okay, that looks better for me. For the last thing, I will move these points. And I will move these points one more time, because you can't see that detail much. Okay, before closing the tutorial, I will select all my objects and I will flip these normals to normal. So select them, reverse normal. I will move these points. Something like that. But last thing, before finishing the tutorial, I will change some of, I will just move some of the edges like this one. Then I will move that polygon like that. That one. For that part, I will make a loop cut here. Then I will move that edge. And I will also slide these edges. So now I made them fluffy, I guess. And also I will these simple materials. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and I see you in the next tutorial.